Hello and welcome to the Bigger Issues with Nick and James. I'm Nick. No, I'm not. I'm James. Nick. What's
Ah!
happened?
I don't know. What,
I
what
think
did just happen?
confusion has occurred.
How's it?
You're Nick. I'm James.
I am Nick. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad we've got that straightened out. I
What
tried
the
to steal
harmonica
your
like?
identity for a minute then.
But that can be like our April Fool's episode. We'll just do an episode where we pretend to be each other.
Can we do parodies of each other?
Yeah. This is gonna end horribly, but yeah, let's do that.
I
Um,
mean,
okay. Well, yeah. This is episode 3. Even though we've been doing this for 4 weeks.
because we missed a week um because I was away for a week and we didn't record an episode in advance. Whoops.
Yeah. We were going to, like, after we recorded the second episode, or was it just before? I can't remember. Like, okay, we should probably record episode 3 as well. And then I think because, like, the mic things took so long to sort out, we just didn't.
I think the main problem I was having was that, like, I was still waiting for you to do the image for episode 2.
Oh, yeah! Yeah, because I was
That took you
really
ages to sort
procrastinating
out.
about
And that
that.
was why episode 2 came out like a day late or
Yeah.
2 days late.
This one's
Something
gonna be
like
fine,
that.
though, because I've already got the template.
Oh,
Um,
good.
yeah.
Yes. Excellent. So that's a thing.
I've completely forgot what I was going to say now. I had like a thing lined up.
Have I shot down
Oh
your
yeah, I
train
was
of
going to
thought?
say this has become like something that's happened every single time now. Like you've been sorting out your mic and stuff and sorting out Stanley, and like there'll be like a 10-second pause, and then you'll be like, "How does this sound?" You're like, "Sounds fine, I guess."
Yeah,
And then like 10 seconds. How's this sound? And it sounds the same, but I think if I don't say anything, like you'll think that I'm just not listening.
well,
So like
if it does sound the same, just say it sounds the same, and then I'll
okay.
know.
It usually just sounds pretty much the same, apart from occasionally when it just goes a little bit quieter or something.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but one thing that will consistently sound horrible is this harmonica. I mean, that's going to be so butchered. Yeah,
that
you've
was
got it
me.
as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So that's one topic down.
Yeah, but while this is on the list, I've accidentally closed the file. Where is it?
Realism in video games.
Oh yeah, so I wanted to talk about because this morning I got up and I'd arranged to play Town of Salem with a friend, and we did that for a bit, and then afterwards we got a bit bored and we were like, okay, well, what games do we both have? And it turned out we both had Don't Starve together, and neither of us had really played Don't Starve that much. We both had it, and neither of us had it installed. So we installed it, and we started playing it, and it was actually a really interesting thing, but it's a survival game, but there's nothing realistic about it.
Well, does it need to be realistic?
Well, no, it doesn't, because it's Don't Starve. But what about games like DayZ, which seems to strive to be realistic and yet can never be realistic?
Well, let me just bring you back for a minute. A couple of days ago, the president of Nintendo, Satoru Iwata, passed away.
Oh yeah.
And one thing that he said was that uh, games are all about having fun and playing together and having a good time, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
You follow?
I
And
thought.
so, I mean, people can say, "Ooh, it's got to be realistic. It's got to have good graphics," but the majority of people, bar you obviously, Nick, don't actually care. They just want to have fun when they play a
Well,
game.
hang on. You seem to misunderstand here, because I don't care either about realism games. What I do care about is when video games pretend to be realistic and make a big deal
Well,
about how realistic they are.
I think what they're doing there is they're trying to cater to a certain audience.
But very quickly, the cracks begin to show, and you know, the audience or whatever gets upset about it, and like take to
Well,
Reddit or like, yeah, this thing happened. This isn't very realistic. Let's go sue the devs.
we, you can't sue the devs for something that's not realistic happening.
Well, if they did it on Kickstarter, you can, because that's fraud. Like, we're gonna make a really realistic survival game. Give us your money.
Well,
It's
hang on, but if you say it's going to be really realistic, that's a very subjective description. So you can't sue someone over that.
we're gonna make the most realistic survival game ever. Then, how about
Well,
that?
it just has to be. It just has to be 1 degree more realistic than every other survival game there is, and that again is a subjective thing.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I found a survival game recently called that's still in its like alpha phases or whatever, or like pre-development phases. That was done by Kickstarter, I think, called We Happy Few, and I think I sent you a link to it.
I don't think you did.
I would have done, but you just.
Well,
It's basically.
if you did, I didn't click on it.
Yeah, fair enough. It's like some alternate history thing. I can't remember the exact context or anything, but basically, there's this really little town, and like where, in order to forget the tragic thing that happened in this alternate history, like people, like take these drugs and stuff to keep like a constant state of happiness.
Drugs and stuff.
Yeah, it's like a pill or something, and you play as a character who doesn't do this and is trying to escape the town. And the problem is, it's basically like a fun police that goes around like beating you up if you look unhappy.
That's nice.
It is, but it was a really interesting idea because the world is procedurally generated, so each time you play, the town is laid out differently and things happen differently.
Oh.
But,
I don't like things that are procedurally
but
generated.
that's not the main mechanic. The idea of the game is you learn how to blend in with the people. So you look at how the people work.
Actually, I think I did click this link.
Yeah.
It's starting to sound familiar.
So you have like choices. So you can choose to, like, I don't know, take this pill or whatever to survive longer around these people because they won't notice that you're not doing it and whatever. And I don't know, it was just a very different take on the whole survival first person procedure generated roguelike thing that's going on.
Yeah.
So
Is
it is. Because I don't know. So yeah. And what about like Armor and stuff? Armor 3. Have you played that?
Armor. I've played about 20 minutes of Armor 3.
Yeah, well,
I mean, Steam says I've played 20 minutes. I've actually played about 3 minutes. Most of that time was spent trying to load up the game and sort out the graphics settings so that it would actually run, and it still doesn't. So I just uninstalled it.
I've played 53 minutes of Armor 3. Which most of it was spent doing the tutorial, I think, and then
I didn't do that.
A little bit was spent in a multiplayer game. And the problem I have with Armor 3 is that it is just way too realistic. Like,
too realistic?
Yeah, it is too realistic. It isn't. It stops being fun because, like, it's impossible to shoot. I mean, maybe some people would like this, but it becomes impossible to shoot things because every time you get hit by anything, your accuracy goes way off, and there's all like wind and stuff to take into account, and just traveling around is really tedious because you can't run for very long.
But some people like it. Some people really like it. Some people swear by it.
I swear by CS:GO. It's the quintessential, the quintessential
really?
first-person shooter experience. I think.
Are you sure?
I am sure. That or Call of Duty, but I don't think Call of Duty. I think it sucks. So yeah. What was the? I think we pretty much covered realism in video games.
Yeah, I'm fed up with this topic.
Yeah. Okay.
Next on the list. Whether parodies can ever become successful.
Oh yeah, so yesterday, you were doing a video,
you were there as well.
Well, it was your idea, and
It's a new Moose of the World video. There'll be a link to it in the description.
It was
It's called Smart Pen 1.5.
so. Go on, you tell them the origin story of this
So
video.
basically, last week when I wasn't here, I was in Belgium, and as you do, you flick on some foreign TV, and there was a teleshopping advert thing, and it was American for some reason, and it was this ad for this pair of sunglasses called the Polaroid HDs, and it was just the way it was delivered. It was so over the top, and it was it was. I wanted to kind of make a parody of this style of ad, and I've done that.
So yeah, afterwards you asked the fateful question in our group chat,
I asked
which
what
was
font should I use, and you started an argument with
I didn't
Jack.
start an argument. What happened was I replied with like an analysis of the fonts that I kind of I don't know. So I'm saying that if you want to do something sincerely that isn't make a big deal about anything, use Arial or Calibri. And then if you want to do
Well,
something
but
ironic,
why would you use Arial when you've got Calibri?
I don't know. Arial's just nice. I like it.
Calibri's better.
Maybe you might be right there.
I think I am right.
um,
I always use Calibri. It's great.
and then someone was like, yeah, Times New Roman's the best font.
Oh, was
Obviously,
it Will that said that?
yeah, obviously it's a joke.
No. Oh, Times
I
New
think I
Roman's
think it was a
awful.
joke anyway.
I hope it was.
Yeah.
God.
And then one of our friends just says, "Don't listen to Nick. He
Yeah.
knows nothing about design, Kappa." And
You don't, clearly.
well, I know a little bit, and I
Not
consider myself
enough.
somebody who likes to look into fonts and things as to their purposes and stuff. And so from then on, it spiraled out of control. This was at 10 o'clock in the evening.
And I was trying to edit the video at the time, so I'm just getting spammed in Skype because it was in a group. It was in a group that you were having this argument, so everybody in the group was getting bombarded with your whatever it was you were saying. I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah, so anyway, we were arguing, and the main point that came up from the person I was arguing against was that parodies can never become mainstream and can never become successful because of the fact that they are parodies and are therefore linked to knowledge of A, a source material, and B, knowledge of problems with the source material.
I don't think that's true.
Well, why isn't it true?
Well, I mean, the fact that parodies themselves have become a known genre of just things is surely proof in itself that they can become mainstream, at least mainstream enough for that.
But the problem is that I think if you showed, like, I don't know, a COD montage or something to a member of the general public, they would just be completely, like, bewildered by it. They wouldn't... It's... Most people won't understand that. And that's, like, that has become a staple of the parody genre.
Well, maybe.
I have a thing about this, and I think the one time I've ever seen like someone who does parodies, like pretty much just parodies, become successful was with Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, everyone knows him. But you don't
Exactly.
need to go into that.
He's become very successful.
And
off of hashing off other people's work. Weird Al's great.
Yeah.
No hate.
But for your video that you did, I think it certainly stands a much better chance of being understood than a COD montage.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think people look down upon parodies as if they're like a lesser thing.
Yeah, some people do. Some people definitely do. But I think if the sooner people lose that viewpoint and start thinking of as something on their own, as something with as much creative merit as anything else, we'll become at least a more advanced species, maybe we'll start inhabiting other planets, and world peace, probably all those things.
But I personally am someone who believes that parodies are necessary for like self-reflection to understand like the problems with. I mean,
yeah, I suppose, yeah.
I was on
in many ways.
I was on Tumblr today and I saw a post someone done, which was like someone who worked at Tesco, and they were saying that in their office where they work, next to their desk, their management has put up a poster. Like you get motivational posters in workplaces. Well, this one was kind of made to look like the Tesco Value branding. It said Tesco Value, and then it said in big letters, motivational poster, and underneath, please be motivated. And it was a very weird thing because this is Tesco. It's like a big company, something poking fun at its own products.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
what's that about?
That's not the kind of thing you'd expect, really, from a big corporation like that, is it? No.
But is it a bad thing though?
No, it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing.
Okay. Well, good. What else is on the list? What
the next item on the list is Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, no, it's not Doctor Who. Doctor Who.
Huh?
Doctor Who. That's how you've written it.
Oh, I've written Doctor. Oh no, that's because the R key on my keyboard stopped working. Well, it's not stopped working. It's starting to stop working. So I'll be typing something, and then I'll press R, but it just won't register, and then I'll have to go back and press R a few times until it does register. It's worse when I'm playing Dota though, because R is your ultimate ability in Dota. For anyone that doesn't play Dota, and if I'm trying to use my ultimate ability in the middle of an important, intense fight, I'll press R quickly without paying attention, and then all of a sudden I'll die, and I'll be like, well, hang on, why did I die? I should have had them, and then I'll realise that my ultimate ability hasn't actually been cast because my R key isn't working.
Yeah,
which is a mess.
I think you'll just have to type 31C instead. I think that's what it's going to have to be.
What?
31C.
31C.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's a good inside joke.
It is. It was so much of an inside joke that you didn't even get it to begin.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm literally the only other person on this planet that could have gotten that, and it took me that long to get it.
Yeah.
So,
well, in all fairness, we haven't really done much of that for a while. We still need to do this.
Not yet, but we will do, I'm sure.
Should we talk about this for a sec? Should we explain what we're going on about here, or?
Oh, go on. Yeah. It's yours to explain. Go on.
So a while ago, in school, it was like sort of towards the end of the exam period, and we had like a lot of like times when we were just standing around, not doing all that much. And at one of these times, I just had the random idea to create like a completely original code, like a way of writing letters in a manner which obfuscates their meaning. And the way I did this was to try and half the alphabet. So, like, I figured that I could write every letter, like at least half the letters in the alphabet, as a combination of two other letters. And it became really convoluted and weird, but eventually got to the point where I could...
It does work.
It does work, because you can put it into a Pigpen cipher, which we'll put a link to in the description for people who don't know what that is. And you can then put dots in just random letters. And the dots don't mean anything. It's only just the bit of the Pigpen that matters, because it's only half the alphabet that you're using. Whereas if you're someone trying to decode this code who doesn't know how it's working, it looks as if like there's a full set of the alphabet being used.
Which makes it theoretically harder to crack.
Yeah, and the number of...
I mean, that's what you think.
Yeah, the number of letters in the message and the number of letters that you write it as don't correlate either. They're different. They like some letters are written as 4 separate letters put together, and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's quite
So
confusing.
the point is that the letter
Even if
R,
you've got the thing that decodes it, it's still difficult to decode.
but the letter R is 31C, uh, and it's because it's weird. I figured that if you get a 1 and you put it right next to a C, it looks like a K. And then if you were to take a I think yeah, and then freeze the letter P for some reason because it was like something that got left. I don't know. So I figured you could put a P over a K and it looks sort of like an R. I'll draw some pictures to go with this on the screen so it doesn't sound like complete nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah.
So anyway, Doctor Who.
So Doctor Who, it's coming back, Series 9. Well, the ninth series since the 2005 relaunch, on the 19th of September. In the UK at least. I don't know where when, where else. But yeah, 19th of September, 2015, Series 9. It's going to be brilliant.
I mean, I don't think I've ever actually watched a full season of Doctor Who. In fact, I think the most consecutive episodes I've ever watched was 5. So, I mean, there is a very good reason for this, but which mean an absolutely awful reason for this. Which
You're
is
scared.
It actually scares me.
You're scared of Doctor Who.
Well, basically, I think what happened was we at the end of the 10th Doctor's run, we watched the last 2 episodes and we were like, "Wow, those were really good." This is when I started watching, and then the next episode was the start of the 11th Doctor, and it was I don't know, whatever episode that was, and that was also really good.
The 11th hour.
Yeah.
That was the 11th
then
hour,
it was
his first episode.
What was it? It was the Daleks or something.
No, there was one before the Daleks, I think.
Well,
but yeah.
I don't know if I don't know. The point is I missed all the episodes following that opening one. And the next episode I saw was the Weeping Angel episode. And I don't know how old I was at this time.
But was that the 11th Doctor Weeping Angel episode?
Yeah, which supposedly wasn't even that scary.
That wasn't even as scary as the first Weeping Angel episode with the 10th Doctor, Blink.
I was terrified by it.
I've only seen Blink once, and that was terrifying.
So, the point is that after that, I watched... I skipped a couple of episodes, and then I watched. I think it was the Silurians, their reboot.
Yes. Silurians is actually a really interesting concept.
It is. Maybe we should talk about them.
Shall we? Should we do that now?
No, right now. Hang on, let me finish. So,
okay.
So that was a 3-episode.
There's 2, I think.
Okay, it was multiple episodes together.
It was.
And I watched all that.
A 2-parter.
And that was also good. But for some reason, after that, the whole Weeping Angel thing still hadn't gone. I just stopped watching, and I lost motivation to watch, and I just literally never watched anything else right up until the premiere of the 12th Doctor's stuff.
Yeah,
which was Deep Breath, I think.
Yeah, with the half-face man, he's called.
Yeah, and that was really good. I thought that was actually a really cleverly done episode.
Deep Breath was good. Rest of Series 8 is very mixed, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I think, just let me finish, the best bit about Deep Breath was the bit towards the end, spoiler alert, where they leave a certain scene very ambiguous as to what's happened. And, the Doctor
yes!
One of us is like... And... then they play out the rest of the scene in such a manner where you never find out for sure exactly who was the person who was lying. And you never know if it was the Doctor that instigated what happened.
We might as well just explain this, because, I mean... Yeah. So, basically, this half-face man, who's like a robot who uses human parts to repair himself, him and the Doctor are... in a restaurant that has been lifted by a giant hot air balloon into the sky over Victorian London, and they're there looking out the door, and it's a case of, well, because the Doctor's obviously got to defeat the evil. That's what happens in Doctor Who, and the half-faced man's just kind of there, and it was the question that was left was, did the half-faced man jump out of this balloon, or did the Doctor push him?
And
because it was a new Doctor, and it's kind of like, because when he regenerates, he gets a new personality. So you don't really know him anymore. And it's kind of like, well, do we want to perceive this new Doctor as the kind of person that would push him out? Because, like, you know, the past couple of Doctors wouldn't have done that. And it's like, well, is this new Doctor like that? And it is very well done.
So yeah, it was like one of, I don't know, the cleverest storytelling devices I've seen in TV for a while. And I don't watch much TV, so that's not saying a lot. But it was good. I mean, so yeah, I think, yeah. Let's go back to the Silurian thing.
So the Silurians they're not an alien race. They are from Earth, but they lived like before and around the dinosaurs, really. And they were kind of, this is in the Doctor Who universe, obviously, and they basically played the role that humans do now back then, and they're reptilian but humanoid in shape, and it's kind of like, so some catastrophe wiped them out, or no, it didn't wipe them out. I think they were expecting a catastrophe, and then they all went into hiding and hibernation, and then there was no catastrophe or something, and they just stayed sleeping underground. But the point is that the Silurians is basically, the idea is when humans come into contact with them, it's kind of like, well, they're very similar, and it's kind of like, do they embrace each other as friends, or do they go to war with each other? And it draws a lot of parallels with, you know, a lot of the wars that we have in our world today, in a lot of ways.
And there was the idea of who exactly the Earth belonged to.
Yes,
whether it was the people who were there to begin with, or the people who inherited it. And this is actually interesting because I don't know whether this was planned at the time. It probably wasn't, but that draws some parallels to me with the conflict going on about Israel and everything.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, those conflicts have been going on as long as Israel's existed, haven't they? So I mean, even if the writers didn't have that particularly in mind, that it was they definitely knew about it, and it might have influenced them, just in the back of the head.
I think what makes the situation so interesting is the fact that neither party is in the right. Like, there's arguments, there's very good arguments supporting both sides, and it seems the only way that things can ever be solved properly is if the two sides reconcile and sort out their differences in a peaceful manner.
But it's such a thin line that they have to stick to, and it's like that. It seems you'd think it would be so easy to do, but it proves to be so difficult. And
practice. Wasn't this how that episode whatever ended? It was like
it ended on the it ended on, they were doing negotiations and stuff, and then one human, they found out that one of the humans had actually killed one of the Silurian scouts that had gone up to the Earth, and so they're like, well, that's that then, and they started trying to attack all the humans again. And some of the Silurians decided, okay, we'll shut down the bunker, and we'll go back. We'll send them all back to sleep again. And it's but humans had better be ready to make a deal next time, kind of thing.
But because the thing is, there's the Silurians sort of become very divided as to whether they should take back Earth then, or whether they should trust the humans at no real loss to them, and just wait it out a little bit longer. And I think the leader wasn't particularly conflicted, and in the end it was, or someone.
There were the two main parties were. The two main, because there was the leader who was in the middle. I've forgotten what his name was. But and then there was the general woman, and
Yeah.
there was Dr. Malika. I
Yeah.
think his name, the doctor, and the doctor guy, not Doctor Who, but
Yeah.
the Silurian doctor. He was kind of on the side of trying to make peace with the humans, but obviously the war general was very cautious and uneasy and wouldn't have minded fighting the humans because I think she knew that they stood a very good chance, kind of thing. And yeah, it was very
So
interesting.
the episode ends with the doctor just asking for, I think it was like 10,000 years. He says
Yes,
just
and it
just
was
give them
gave
ten
them some
thousand
time.
words to sort everything
Ten
out.
thousand words.
Not words. Sorry, I'm too used to the whole the word count thing for.
Word counts. Oh dear.
Oh God,
Oh,
bad memories.
oh
Um,
dear. Forget about that. Those dark times, Nick.
yeah. Um, 10,000 years to sort out all
Sort
of
out.
humanity's problems, so that
Yeah.
when they come out, they're ready. And I don't know. I'm not sure if I was satisfied with that ending, to be honest,
I don't think it's
because
meant to leave you satisfied. I
but
think that's kind of the point. Because yeah,
because I get the thing that the Doctor was being very optimistic there, because nobody would believe that there was a race of aliens living beneath the
no,
sea.
of course they were not aliens because alien,
Yeah,
means foreign. But
that's the thing. Sure, they're not aliens. People
well,
would
are
still
they?
say aliens
I mean,
because that's how it's always been. Like foreign countries and people.
yeah, I suppose. I mean, yeah. Would you call the Silurians aliens? Because maybe they're not aliens because they come from Earth, but they're not human at all. So, but again, in many ways, they share a lot of similarities with humans. And I mean, this is why I like Doctor Who because a lot of the time it is just a lot of like it's funny and cheesy and it's got loads of silly stuff in, but often there are some really like interesting things raised within the show.
I'm trying to think. What's the other thing that does stuff like this? Oh yeah, Homestuck. Um,
Oh, for crying out loud!
sorry. Just pretend that never happened. Let's. I think. Hang on. What else is there? So, seeing as we've just talked about Doctor Who, right?
Yeah,
I'm going to talk a little bit about Gravity Falls, which has
Gravity Falls,
happened.
which I know nothing about.
Well, yeah, you probably still won't know anything about it 'cause I'm not going to go into it really, but
Okay.
like, I found out about like I don't know. I decided to watch it fairly recently, and it was so good that I just watched the entire first season and the entire second season, and up to the latest episode, which has come out day before yesterday, July 13th. And that episode was like an extra long one. So it's a cartoon that airs on Disney Channel or Disney XD or something, and so it has a 22-minute time slot or whatever. But this episode was 40 minutes uninterrupted, no ads or anything. And
Whoa. Really? No ads?
yeah, and it was a really big deal because the way Gravity Falls works is that it takes place in this town called Gravity Falls where all these weird conspiracy things go on, and there's lots of sort of supernatural happenings and stuff. And throughout the series, the two main protagonists, Dipper and Mabel Pines, find out a lot about these mysteries, and in doing so, they raise questions as to exactly what's going on in the town. And this episode was bigged up to be the big explanation episode. Like everything, not everything, but a lot of things that have been there since the beginning were going to be completely sorted out, and all the fan theories or whatever that I never took any part in because I wasn't there are going to be proved true or false once and for all. And this episode was, perhaps because of this, very serious in comparison to the other episodes, and it was definitely aware that it was being more serious than usual. Like most of the jokes were relating to the fact that it was being very serious. And people have seemed to have asked the question really as to whether or not Gravity Falls is actually properly a kid's show anymore. Like,
Well,
because there's certain like things you just don't talk about or anything in kid shows, and yet like a lot of the weird stuff that happens is actually really quite dark once you start to look at it.
but
Yeah,
I don't know. I think if you look hard enough for any kids show, you'll find something, at least something there.
I'm trying to think now of a specific example that wouldn't involve spoiling things. No, there aren't any specific examples that wouldn't involve spoiling anything at all, unless it's pretty much from the first episode, because like from then on it's just one big secret after another.
Oh, blimey.
I can't say anything about it. I'm so sorry. This
It's
whole thing's
okay.
been pointless.
Wow. I'll probably have to watch that at some point then, won't I?
I think you would. You'd like it. It has bits
God
about
damn it.
cryptography and stuff and blah. So yeah, there's a reason it has the size of a following that it does, and I think that the point I really wanted to get at here is a bit of darkness and a bit of ambiguity a bad thing in a kids show? Like, do you really need to protect kids from these things?
My stance is no. I think there needs to be at least some, because that's important, so that kids know about all this darker stuff, and it helps them to think. Probably, I reckon.
Yeah,
because I mean, if you think Doctor Who is in many ways considered, a kids show.
Yeah,
but clearly, it's got aspects to it, or at least has had at some point, or maybe still has.
Hang on. There are some parts of Doctor Who that are actually just really dark. Like that
Precisely.
is the number one example of this isn't a kids show anymore. Like,
but is it? Because it every other episode or every 2 or 3 episodes, it still goes back to that Robot of Sherwood episode, which is just completely light-hearted, ridiculous nonsense.
Yeah, I don't know. I was scarred for 2 weeks after watching the Weeping Angel episode. What can I say?
Lighten your heart and just annoy yourself by watching Robot of Sherwood. Honestly,
I might do.
Did you see that one?
I didn't see it. That was just before that was I stopped watching at that point because I watched.
That was like the 3rd episode of Series 8.
Yeah,
so
because I watched. What happened was the 2nd episode. I forgot that it was on, and I only arrived for the second half of it.
Was the 2nd episode Into the Dalek?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was also a interesting episode, I think, in terms of questions it raised about, what exactly is an emotion and what.
Yeah, well, I mean, they come up a lot when they have, the Dalek episodes that aren't just all out fighting with Daleks. Which there is also.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Doctor Who is definitely one of the darker things that kids watch. Probably, like a lot of kids watch.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't agree necessarily with keeping kids sheltered from all this stuff, because I think a lot of kids, or at least most kids, are a lot more aware and intelligent than adults seem to think they are.
Yeah. Story of your life.
No, well, I guess. That sounded very sad.
I hit the nail on the head there, Nick.
Pretty much. But no, what I mean, I think this question was like raised to me recently when, for my Duke of Edinburgh award, which I've been doing, I was helping out at a Cub Scout unit locally, and I've been doing this for like a year, or almost half a year, sometime between half a year and a year, and I don't know, the activities that I'm not dissing the Cub Scouts or anything here. Don't want to start like a flame war. Not, not that there will be a flame war.
I don't think the Cub Scout community is that prevalent online. I don't think they're going to be attacking you on Reddit, Nick.
No, but a lot of the activities that they do seem to be just very. I don't know. I mean, you were a Cub Scout, weren't you?
I was a Cub Scout.
So I don't know, but
for
go on, you tell me.
2 years or something. I don't know what.
What did you think of the kind of activities that you did in the Cub Scouts?
It was a long time ago, Nick, but I mean, I had fun. I enjoyed it. What kind of activities are you thinking of?
I'm just thinking of things like one of the things that they do a lot of is like relay races, which is that they stand in like their little groups, like patrol things that they have, and
sixes.
Sixes. That's
sixes it. Sixes in Cubs, lodges in Beavers, sixes in Cubs, patrols in Scouts.
Yeah, so they stand in those and like they run up to the other end of the Scout hut, where there'll be like some activity waiting for them, and they'll have to do one bit of it, and then they run back, and the next person comes and they do the next bit of it. And a lot of the times it will be like I don't know, a jigsaw or like matching words up to pictures and things.
Yeah,
and these aren't like these are kids that are in years 5 and 6 and stuff of primary school. They're doing like
4, 5, and 6.
4, 5, and 6. So they're doing like stuff that is actually, a lot. I know. I get the feeling that a lot of them get kind of bored by those things.
Yeah, I don't think we did any. Well, I don't really remember. I don't remember doing anything like that in Cubs. Gotta say.
But anyway, the thing is that when we actually the leaders or whatever actually challenge the Cubs to create something or do something like themselves, or just with a little bit of help from one leader or something, then I find that the results of that are actually a lot more interesting and entertaining than the other activities.
But is maybe the main problem with that it's actually just harder to control?
I don't know,
because I mean, generally, if you've got a large group of kids, the main thing you're going to want to be trying to do is to like keep them kind of like
not in this case.
Control.
Not in this case, because we have this unit enough leaders to be able to split up the Cubs into groups of 3 or 4 and have each group with one leader, and that's usually they're usually that's quite staying perfectly in control and everything. And it just really goes to show just how much like kids can do when they're allowed to do it.
Yeah. Oh.
So yeah, that's the bigger issue for today.
Damn.
Are kids really just kids?
Was that the sound of my mind being blown?
No, that was the sound of me going.
Oh wow! Okay. No, fair enough.
So this has been going on for 56 minutes, at least half.
Well,
of
it hasn't. That's the Skype call.
Yeah, at least half of that was stuff to do with the mics and everything, I imagine.
No, not quite that long. It's all right.
Okay.
We've got a nice long episode.
So yeah, I think we're done here. This has been really interesting, at least for me. Possibly not for the audience. I don't.
Audience are great. We love you, audience.
Do we? I mean, hang on a sec. Who exactly? Let's just look at the view count. I think on the first video.
First video's got quite a few views.
I'm looking. Hang on.
Second video, not as many.
49 views. So we right as of now, for the first episode, maybe 50 people have watched it or something, and of those, 40 didn't stay for the next episode.
Yeah, well, no, not quite 40.
Yeah,
But,
37.
yeah, 37 people dropped off after the first episode.
But how
So,
many? How here's the question: how many of those views for the second video are me when I've been opening up the video to put links to it on my Tumblr and to people in Skype and stuff?
well, how many times have you done that?
I don't know, a couple.
If you want to say 4 times, we've got about 8 views there.
Yeah.
But then,
So
like one of those was probably me to begin with. Maybe a couple. We'll go with 2. So, and then one of those was definitely you, presumably.
yeah, I think so.
So we're down to 5 at that point. And then Matt always listens. Hi, Matt. I mean, he can't say anything back, but yeah.
No, he's not here.
But he's not. Thank God.
Wow. That's it. He's unsubscribing now. He's not happy. He's angered, Matt.
No, Matt. I'm sorry. Please, you're like our most loyal listener.
I think my brother listened to the first episode, but I don't know if he
Did he listen to the second one?
I don't know.
Like, because working out those numbers, it seems unlikely that he did.
Yeah, and we know that. But the point is that we know pretty much everyone in the audience now.
Well,
so can we really say we love you without it being like, I know.
So okay, audience, please share this video with your friends to give us a wider audience.
Yeah, we need more peeps to listen to us rambling. And
that'll be it for this week. Thank you for listening. We're glad that you've decided to spend your time doing this, and we'll see you.
Should I do a harmonica chord?
Oh, go on. And we will see you next week. Goodbye.